Good day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and today we're talking about how to invest in your 20s. This is part of a new series I'm starting. I'm going to do how to invest in your 20s, which we're doing today. Then we're going to do how to invest in your 30s, how to invest in your 40s, and how to invest in your 50s. It's going to be part of a series, guys. I hope you absolutely enjoy this. There's a good chance if you're watching this, you're probably in your 20s or a little before your 20s. Maybe you're still a teenager or something. So this video is hopefully going to help you guys out tremendously as far as understanding your different options as far as investing and kind of your situation and all that, guys. So with this, there's three different categories we're talking about. We're talking about your situation, okay? Then we're going to talk about what are your options out there and how do you want to go about doing it, okay? So those are the three things we're going to talk about. So first, let's talk about your situation. Your situation. So if you're in your 20s, generally you're going to have some common themes with most people, okay? Most people in their 20s have lower paying jobs, okay? So you're probably going to, of your adult life, we can say your adult life, let's say it starts at 20 years old, okay? And so your 20s is your first stage of your adult life. Generally, of that adult life until you retire, basically, this is generally speaking the lowest amount of money you'll ever make will be in your 20s, generally speaking. However, it's not such a bad thing. It's not such a bad thing because guess what? Your expenses are probably going to be lower than they will ever be at any point in your adult life. So that's a big thing because when you get into your 30s and 40s, all of a sudden you get up to a lifestyle and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need a 3,000 square foot house. I need the newest SUV. I need this. I need that. I need all the newest technology. You get a certain lifestyle built up. Maybe you have kids. Those kids are expensive. So all of a sudden your expenses start to go way up, okay? So although you're not making bank, generally speaking, during your 20s, you have really low expenses because you just don't, you're not up to that lifestyle that you have to live a certain kind of lifestyle yet. So you can generally bank a lot of money. I mean, I remember when I was making, when I was 21, 22 years old, making 45, 50K at Quick Trip, right? I was able to still bank away a lot of that money because I was living in a one-bedroom apartment, which I was sharing with my girlfriend at that time, who's now my wife, right? We shared that apartment. It was like $750 rent a month, and she was making good money. She was probably making 35 or 40K or something. So combined, we were making way more money than we needed. And, I didn't need all the fancier things in life at that time anyway. So I was still banking away a lot of money toward investing. So you got to take advantage of the fact that your expenses are real low and definitely focus on trying to get those incomes up as well. And maybe multiple sources of income and whatnot is definitely the way to go. So then if you can still have these super low expenses and then you bank even more money away toward these investments, okay? So that's kind of your general situation if you're in your 20s. Now, what are your options as far as investing? Well, real estate, not realistic for most people in their 20s because real estate, you either need to have a ton of money behind you to buy a property, right? Or you can take out debt, not generally the best thing when you're in your 20s because if you do get that loan, it's probably going to be at a much higher interest rate than the average person, okay? Or you can maybe pool money together or something like that. Kind of unrealistic for somebody to give, a 23-year-old a bunch of money to go invest in real estate because you probably don't even have experience doing it. So real estate investing, not the best option in my opinion, or not even really a realistic option for investing in your 20s. Maybe in your 30s, maybe in your 40s, 50s down the road, that becomes more of a realistic thing because you get money built up, you build up credibility, you build up credit and all those kinds of things. Maybe it becomes more realistic, not so realistic in your 20s. There's stocks. We talk stock market investing more than anything. This is definitely a good option for you because the barrier to entry is so low. Like you can buy one share of a $50 stock or something. It costs you $50. You don't need to spend $200,000 on a stock as you're buying like Berkshire Hathaway Class A shares or something insane like that. So stocks is definitely a way to go, and you're going to potentially be able to get phenomenal gains on those if you do it right and you put in the work and all those kind of things. And stock market investing does take a lot of work. You do have to put a lot of work into stock market investing if you really want to max out your gains. But guess what? The great thing is, because you're generally speaking in your 20s, you probably don't have a family and those kinds of things. You don't have as many obligations, okay? You don't have to go to the volleyball game on Tuesday night like you might have to do when you're 35 years old. You can put in massive amounts of work towards stock market investing. You can do massive amount of hours of research like I used to do back in the day, guys. I still do massive amounts of research compared to most people, but I don't even research as much as I used to. I'm just a busier guy now. I have businesses, I have a family, I got stuff going on. So even I don't put in quite the research I used to. I used to put in silly amounts of research because I had no life. You know what I mean? Like I worked my job, and other than that, I had a few friends and stuff, but how much time does that really take up? It's a whole different ballgame. So this is a really good option because you can just learn so much. You can potentially get great gains, and you can put in tons of time necessary to really max out those gains, guys. So stocks is a really good one. Over here, why? That means yourself, okay? You can invest in yourself. You're still so young that it may make sense to invest in yourself. That could be, I don't know, maybe it's going to community college to get some courses, to get some more knowledge on something. Maybe it's buying books, okay? Maybe, I don't know, it's buying a course in something you're interested in. Maybe you're interested in, I don't know, Amazon FBA. Maybe you buy a course in that or something. Who knows what you're interested in, but you can invest that money in yourself. That's a big thing, because when you invest money in yourself, that stays with you for a lifetime, okay? Those things you learn that you spend money on, those stay with you for a lifetime and can potentially bring you in tons more money over the coming decades, guys. So investing in yourself is probably the best option, in my opinion, in your 20s. It's for sure the best option if you're under 20 years old, okay? Because you're still in the super beginner stages of learning and whatnot. But absolutely, invest in yourself, guys. That's going to pay off huge dividends for you for a long time to come. And other than that, stocks is definitely the way to go. Now, how do you want to actually invest, okay? So this is more toward stocks when you think about stock market investing. How do you want to do it? This stands for aggressive, not stupid, okay? So in your 20s, you want to invest more aggressively than any period in your life by far. You want to invest way more aggressively than your 30s, 40s, 50s, and well, when you're in your 50s and plus, you don't even want to be aggressive at that point. You're too far into the game. In your 20s, you really want to invest aggressively. But once again, that doesn't mean you invest stupidly, okay? You don't go out and you don't start getting debt so you can invest more money, okay? That's a bad idea. You don't start going into penny stocks. You don't start, gambling with this stock or that stock, or just trying to make short-term gains however you can. You don't want to do that kind of stuff. That's bad. That gets into the stupid category, in my opinion, at that point, okay? But you want to be aggressive. You want to be in more growth-related companies, and you want to be in a company that maybe people don't see the vision now, but 3 to 5 years from now, people are going to wake up and see that vision. Those are the kind of companies you want to be in, because those ones have potential to bring you huge gains. And if for some reason you lose money, you're in your 20s, so it's not like it's game over for you. If you invest aggressively, let's say at 58 years old or 68 years old, right, and you take a huge loss because you went super aggressive, like, you don't have time to catch up at that point. Like, that's not good. So, but when you're in your 20s, man, you got all the time in the world. So just in case you make a mistake on something over the long term and it doesn't pan out for you, you got time to recover from that. So you definitely want to go aggressive, but just don't go stupid aggressive where you're just going into whatever. Put in the work, put in the research work behind that to make sure that stock really has potential to be a multi-bagger, bring you in 100, 200, 300% over the coming years. You're not dire for that money at that time. You don't need that money right then and there. You're not retiring tomorrow, so it's not like, oh, I got to start pulling out that money, so if I lose a bunch of money, it's going to be not good. No, that money's just going to stay in your account. And that's generally the way you want to treat it in your 20s. You don't want to pull out any of that money. That money that's in your stock market accounts, that's untouchable money. Once you funnel money into that stock market account, you want to act like that money doesn't even exist. You just want to invest it and it stays over in that category. When I do my income videos and some of those kinds of things, people are always like, why didn't you talk about stocks? Because stocks, I don't even count as income. I have to count them on my taxes sometimes when I take out gains. But as far as income, I don't even think about stocks as income. If I made $75,000 on stocks this year, I don't count that. I don't think of it in my head as, oh, I made $75,000 in income. That's an extra $75,000 in income I made because of stocks. No, because that money is staying on that side. And that's really how you want to treat it in your 20s and even beyond that, until you actually want to retire someday in your 50s or 60s, then you can start pulling money out. But that money that's in that investment account, you don't ever want to touch that for anything. That money is just for investing. You should have savings accounts and checking accounts that have the money in it, that if you need to go out and buy something or do something with that money, that money's there, okay? You don't want to ever pull out from that investment account. That just leads you into a bad mentality, and you start seeing that account go down because, oh, I just pulled out $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000, and all of a sudden it starts dwindling. You always want to be in the growth mindset where that account is growing and growing and growing. So you just keep that separate, man. Just think of it. When that money goes from your bank account over to your Fidelity account or Robinhood or Scottrade or E-Trade or TD Ameritrade or whatever brokerage, just think of that money as it's over there now. It's not to be touched. That money is not to be touched. It's only to be invested. That's the best way to think about it, guys. So that is honestly how you want to go ahead and invest, in my opinion, in your 20s. Just, make sure you're aggressive, but make sure you're not going stupid on it. Just don't go crazy, okay? Stocks is definitely a great way to go. Investing in yourself will probably pay you the biggest dividends of anything, in my opinion, investing in yourself, even bigger than stocks. And, generally speaking, you're going to have low-paying jobs, and but you're going to have low expenses, man. So you're still going to be able to bank money. So just focus on getting that income up, but don't increase that lifestyle. So if you bring in an extra $1,000 a month, don't think of it as, oh, let me just spend an extra $1,000. Maybe you're going to spend an extra $100 of that $1,000, but the rest you want to put toward investing and keep going that way. And just don't keep adding up those liabilities, because those liabilities are going to come in your 30s and 40s anyways. So don't start adding them in your 20s, man. That's the decade for you. 20 to 29 is the decade for you to just bank money and just focus on investing, guys. So I hope you absolutely enjoyed this. Leave me any comments if you guys have something to say about this video. For anybody watching that's in their 30s right now, don't worry, a video should be coming maybe in the next few days or maybe in the next week about how to invest in your 30s, guys, and then we'll do how to invest in your 40s and how to invest in your 50s. By the way, you should watch all those videos even if you're only in your 20s, just to keep in mind for the future, guys. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you're newer to the stock market, make sure you check out my 11-part stock market investing mastery course. That should help you guys out phenomenally. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.